Hey, yo, what's going on? Happy National Pizza Day. Y'all celebrating? What y'all doing? What's up? What's popping? 7-game slate on a Tuesday. We chilling out, relaxing. We maxing all cool. We doing all types of stuff. We got a golf betting video out today, golf DFS. Got a couple days till that bad boy starts. Really weak field, to say the least, is the definition of the Pebble Beach this week, the AT&T. How y'all doing? I see some people up in here already. We're going to answer your questions now on this 7-game slate, and we're going to talk about the slate. We're going to strategize here. My friends, we were saying it yesterday, right? Well, you beautiful people. We all friends. We all chilling in here. What's up? A lot of people up in here early. So let's get into it, right? Let's get into it. Like, subscribe, do those things. We'll talk about Jock Market sponsoring this live stream, potentially going to be starting up sometime relatively soon, a Jock Market show once a week and see how that does up until the closing bell. So what's up? Hey. I see some people up in here right now. What's going on, Max? What's going on, people? I'm going to get to all the questions that already came in, so don't worry about that. But here's what I would like you to do for me. Get your eyeballs ready. Get your fingertips ready. Or your voice, if that's what you do. If you're ahead of your time and you're using voice, you get these messages in the chat right now. And let's answer some questions. Let's get it popping. Man, it's been nice here. Finally, right? It's crazy how it's like February and in the Northeast it's probably brutal right now. But it's like becoming the spring in the South, or I guess right in the middle in the North Carolina area. Alrighty, gang. Let's get into it. Right away. I hope you all having lovely days. Yes, it is National Pizza Day. Do what you got to do with that. That's all I'm saying. Do what you got to do with that. A couple other national calendar days today, like National Toothache Day. Oof. We can't be rocking with that. We cannot be rocking with that. Going to start releasing some stuff on the TikTok, Twitter, the TikToks, Twitter, Reels, all that type of stuff. Going to have that first video probably. Just got an update on it. Still chopping on the edit. Might be a little bit delayed. Another hour. Adding in some extra effects. I apologize, but I'm trying to knock it out as fast as I can. Alrighty. All good, my man. All good. Editor's going to have that first chop up our way. Alrighty. What's he doing? Josh, he says, your ever consistent positivity keeps me coming back. Appreciate the no BS content as well. Too many charlatans out there. Yeah, man. Last night we had, it almost lasted 2 hours. So I'm telling you guys, get on Clubhouse. It's a ton of fun. Not only is it a great place to potentially grow, like it can become the audio platform of YouTube, which if you're on it for you personally, depending on what you want to talk about, that can help you as a creator. But I realize the upside of that, but I just like it because it's interactive, right? I'm getting to talk to people in the community that I would never have talked to. I got to talk to a bunch of guys yesterday. We're in and out of the chat. But David Kitchens, for the first time, we kind of interacted on there. He's from Roto Grinders. I've seen him pop up on some of like the periscopes and stuff that get posted on Twitter. So that was cool. That was cool to talk on like a more what we do as a career standpoint. Some of the stuffs that we're identifying, some of the stuffs that we struggled through, all that type of stuff from a career standpoint in this fantasy space. But it doesn't even have to be just about that. There's clubhouses for everything. So I'm telling you, I want to interact with the community. This is my favorite part of every single day and every single week when I do the live streams. And now Clubhouse is quickly becoming right up there in terms of just like the interaction that you get. Because obviously it's a little bit, it's another level. It's not just me talking. You're getting a back and forth conversation. So the reason why I say that is the interaction, the ever consistent, it's what keeps bringing me back, one. But number two, the too many charlatan things out there. This is something that came up in the conversation yesterday in terms of being transparent, being who you are. Don't just sticking yourself into like one little area, right? Not just like me personally, I create content in the DFS space, but I've been trying to venture out in terms of the vlogging space. I've been venturing out behind the scenes, and hopefully today we can release some of the short clip stuff that I've been working on from a comedy standpoint. So yeah, or just a lighthearted, not so much comedy, but in that vein, I think a lot of people try to just kind of see somebody, and it's natural, right? You baseline your expectations. Okay, if somebody's starting today, they might see me, they might see some other content creator in the space and say, okay, I got to do exactly that. When really, that's not going to work because somebody's already doing it. So like, I think a lot of people in the space might not be charlatans. Sure, there's some quote, for people that don't know, that basically means, I assume, frauds, right? And there's definitely some of those in every single space, and I think that kind of plays itself out. But I think a lot of people are just trying to develop their own like unique self, right? They're trying to be able to get that through in the content. And I think it takes time for a lot of people. Fellas, how's it going? He's in the notification gang, David. I'm so happy the notifications started getting sent back out. I see there's over 100 people already up in here right now. Appreciate everybody up in this chat. You all are a motherfucking blessing. You all rock. Are we liking Rodney Hood today as a sneaky cash play? My man, what's going on? Jaron Mack? How you doing, boss man? Rodney Hood is not going to be in play for me. I guess here's the thing with Rodney Hood. Let me pull this up right now. What do we got this on? All right. So the thing with Rodney Hood for me is basically The fact that you're probably going to have Derrick Jones back, or I'm projecting Derrick Jones back in this game. Obviously, we already have the news that Damian Lillard is back. So Rodney Hood, he doesn't become the same type of a play. And the downsides of that is he's not priced up in a major way, but he is 4,300 now, right? So with Lillard coming back, with Derrick Jones projected to be back in, I only have Rodney Hood right now. If you're looking at his recent games, yeah, he might look decent. But again, you got to pay attention to those injuries. I only have him projected for, I think the least points on his team are pretty close to it. I have him for 14.2 points. Fellas, the Dollar Rooski says Unicorn Love. Hey, for sure. What's up, my man? Bruce Brown, a viable play today. Bruce Brown for me he's like borderline viable, but not really. He's kind of priced for it at this point. That's being asked because you're not going to have, and you have Kyrie back, but you're not going to be having Kevin Durant out there. I think that helps a little bit more of Joe Harris and TLC. Bruce Brown I only have for like 16.5 points today. Sal, Malik Monk did it. Holy shit. Yeah, so it was a blow up. Malik Monk just played like normal minutes, 26 minutes, maybe a little bit more than normal. Like I had him project for like 20. So the blowout helped him a tiny bit, but nothing crazy. It basically gave Malik Monk like fourth quarter minutes that he wouldn't have gotten. But yeah, he played well. He had like 14 real life points. I think he scored like 32 fantasy points. Yeah, he played well. He's continuing to play well in the minutes that he's getting, which is, all you can do for a player that at like a week or two ago was on the fringe of his NBA career. Fellas, like and subscribe to Sal to win some Dollar Rooskies. Yeah, win some Dollar Rooskies to have a good time as well. I like bacon at any price today, says Josh. Josh, what's up, boss man? Dwayne Bacon today at any price. He's in play for me. Yes, Dwayne Bacon is. Yeah, these starters suck, right? It's like Vooch and then maybe Cole Anthony's half decent. Terrence Ross isn't starting. So, like, in real life, yeah, some of these players are decent. Dwayne Bacon was a decent pickup for them. Obviously playing big minutes now. Same thing with James Ennis when they got him last year. But it's still just like from a fantasy perspective, running out Gary Clark, James Ennis, and Dwayne Bacon for 30 minutes is really rough for Orlando. It's tough to go to a lot of those spots with confidence because their ceiling is so limited and their floor is very, very low, right? Yup, if it's fresh, yeah. Somebody said about the bacon. Best Super Draft plays today, says Devin. Yes. We'll talk about Jock Market to sponsor the show in a second, but the best Super Draft plays, I think that it's kind of similar stuff here. I think that Damian Lillard at a 1.15x multiplier, like Damian Lillard should be 1x today. So he's going to stand out. Cousins is still going to stand out at a 1.65x at the center position, but center position is loaded today because you have Vooch, Cantor, and Cousins. So I'm okay to get away from Cousins even coming off of a down game because of the fact that people will probably go to him. But you even have him beat up there. So center's loaded today. Center's loaded. Getting some of those power forward center eligible guys into your lineup is going to be pretty appealing. Jakob Poeltl, he also has a nice multiplier. So center's a little bit tricky today, but I think one that might not be as honed is Cole Anthony. Cole Anthony has a 1.8x multiplier, even though he's probably the second best offensive player today. That's at least going to be starting on Orlando. Brother Sal, what's good, Brody? What's going on, boss man? Would you go Ennis or Bacon if you had to? I would go with Bacon. I think he's a little bit more of a better of an offensive player, and he's kind of shown that for like the last 2 years. What's up, Sal? Are you still high on Lonnie Walker? Yes, I am, good sir. So the minutes on the screen right now are for Houston, but let's go over to San Antonio because San Antonio still no Aldridge, no Derek White. He's resting today. I gave Lonnie Walker 28 minutes of play today. And with those 28 minutes of play, Lonnie Walker grades out for me as a quality play. Lonnie Walker is going to grade out for me as, I believe, my top value play as of right now on DraftKings. So, yes, Lonnie Walker looks great. From a super draft perspective, not so much. I haven't checked the Jock Market. I know it hasn't opened yet, but let me see what the players are going in there. So if you're not already familiar, we'll probably touch on it in a little bit as well. We can wait a little bit to talk about Jock Market, but let me just see what's going on from a Lonnie Walker perspective if he's in the Jock Market today. The market doesn't open till 5, but we can still look at it. Good afternoon, Sal. Hope all is well. Question for you. Who is the cheap player, any position under 4,200 that you like? Thank you. Yeah, what's up, G-Baller? So the same guy I was just talking about. Lonnie Walker right now would be that guy for me. Lonnie Walker coming back from injury, and there's no Derek White, so it plays out pretty nicely for him. Of course, he's going to be owned on a slate where there's not a ton of 3K value. I would say there's like a couple of other pieces today, like a Frank Mason. Sterling Brown I'm kind of iffy on. But there's a couple of other pieces, but that's kind of it, right? You have like $4,100 Dwayne Bacon as value, but I think Lonnie Walker is pretty secure. I made $340 profit last night using your projections. Let's get this 100K tonight. My man Josh McCollum, let's go. Round of applause to Josh in the chat. $340. It's a healthy chunk of change. That's a healthy chunk of change, especially if you're growing a bankroll too. My man's been manifesting in the chat, saying that he's going to win the next day. There you go. You got some right there. Sal, I need your help. I can't play DFS in Nevada, so what's your favorite either spread or over-under of the day? My man, I can't help you like sugar. I'm sorry. If I could help you, I would, but I don't bet the NBA. Sometimes I bet player props, right? Like I'll bet on Monkey Knife Fight here and there for the NBA. I'll bet player props when they're actually accessible and make sense for me to bet. But that's why I've been liking Jock Market. Monkey Knife Fight, another sponsor, and Superdraft, as long as they're not going to have these contests filling, that's where I'm going to prioritize my energy. But the NBA is so difficult. Like it's obvious that NFL is extremely difficult. Any sport is extremely difficult to win long-term at betting on, right? But there's actually some edges and some things that you can do for the NFL. There's some things in golf that stand out, like Dustin Johnson, the top-ranked player in the world and top-ranked player by far, 4-1 odds in the field, gets ruled out yesterday. And for like 10 minutes, some of these books are keeping up the normal odds as if the number one ranked guy in the field is still in there. So that's going to help you, right? You can take advantage of that. And the NBA, since it's so day-to-day, those lines are so compact. Like I would say there's really nobody on the planet that is beating those lines consistently in the NBA. They might be picking apart one game here, one game every other day, but like betting a couple of games a night and consistently winning, they're so airtight, those lines. I won $1.50. Profit is profit, Amy. Way to go, way to go. Are you high on Oubre, Sal? Yeah, I like a lot of Golden State tonight. They're just playing massive minutes. They're playing massive minutes. And like Oubre earlier in the year, we're like, can we get 27, 28 minutes out of this guy? Minutes are there now. Oubre for me is a top 10 play today. He's a borderline top 5 play for me as well. I currently have him as my number 5 overall play in the slate. I like Oubre a lot. He's grading out for close to 35 fantasy points for me today. Good sir. Makes sense. Thank you, bro. The only prop William Hill has is on the Pelicans game. What's the player? Made $2,300 profit with your projections. We were raking it. Oh, my God. The community is popping. The community is popping. I mean, when DeJounte Murray goes off and he looked like a pretty fucking solid play yesterday, cover boy of this live stream yesterday, yeah, you know you're doing probably pretty good to start the day off, right? Especially when he's not massively owned. Single entry. I saw some people saying that he was only single-digit owns. Came in third in the $4 100K to first last night. You the man, Sal. Jesus Christ, the community smashed last night. Like, I had a decent night. I had a pretty quality night, a profitable night. I didn't really think to. Usually people will reach out to me on Twitter and stuff like that. I'll have to go check and see my notifications. But everybody in the chat right now, $2,300, $340, $150 for Amy. Shout out Amy, 4th place in the 100K to first. That's got to be a couple thousand, right, Thomas? I would assume so. Now what's, thank you, Sal. Now what's the best 8K player, almost best play for you, LOL? Best 8K or above player on the slate today is what you're asking me. Nikola Vucevic at $8,900 is really hard to ignore. So I would say Vooch in that range because Vooch you can then pair up, right? The goal would be to play Vooch as of right now with the value that you have. There's enough, and pair it up with an Embiid or pair it up with a Damian Lillard. I currently prefer Damian Lillard, but yeah, I would say that Vooch and. You can either pair up Kyrie and Vooch, or you can pick one of them and then go up to the top. I think that's the strategy for me today. I'd rather play Kyrie or Vooch over like a Brandon Ingram today. And there's not that many other 8K options, honestly. Like, there's not that many other decent 8K options, right? Don't really want to be touching too much of, I would say, like Zion. I lack somewhat of a ceiling based on like the minutes that he plays and who's involved on that team. Fox, not really interested. Same thing with Simmons. Thomas said he won 20K yesterday. You won 20K and 100K to first and 4th place? That's the payout structures in there? You got 20K? Jesus Christ. My man Thomas won 20K in the chat just subtly. Let's go, Thomas. Attaboy. Just curious. Did Lou Dort project good yesterday? I mean, I'll have to let me pull up yesterday's projections from the old Patreon street so I can let you know. Solid 250 last night off of $20. Let's repeat, fellas. Everybody's fucking balling. The Patreons are fucking balling right now. It's a good time to humbly plug the Patreon link in here. Yeah, if you're not already signed up for Patreon, get in there. PGA projections will be out tomorrow morning. MMA projections will be out probably on Thursday. NBA projections are already out, and they'll be updated based on any types of injury news. So be sure to get up in there and check it out. I'm going to check Lou Dort for the person that just asked that for the 2-8 projections. We'll see where he graded out for me yesterday. Oh, boy, we're getting everything moved around. There we go. So this is yesterday's projections. Lou Dort for me yesterday. Let me see. Where is this motherfucker? So Lou Dort graded out for 24.12 points. He graded out overall. I mean, not great. He wasn't terrible. I think he was in a player pool for me, but nowhere. Actually, no. He basically got chopped. Lou Dort was my 69th overall play yesterday via the Patreon closing projections. Super Jeff, Vooch or Gobert today? I'll go with Vooch there. Fuck yeah, Thomas. Goddamn, yeah, people are balling out. JJ today, if that means Redick, no. Lonnie Bacon, good value, and 5 studs. So does JJ mean JJ Redick today? Not really interested there. I'll go with Lonnie as a very solid value out of those 3, and then Bacon. Murray and Lonnie in the same lineup, that seems fine. Lonnie's cheap enough. Murray's cheap enough. He's $6,500. Price point drops $300 after dropping 60 points, right? 8 steals. All thanks to you, Sal. No, Thomas. $20,000. Look, if I could make $20,000 vanish, right, or just appear out of nowhere, right, If I can just do that on my own, I would still probably be doing this because I like this so much and interacting. But I would definitely be taking more trips, moving my family out, buying them a house, my parents, my beautiful parents, things like that, right? So that's all you. That's all you, man. You put that lineup together. If you came in here and I said one thing that helped you just get that whole lineup together, that's a very small equation of it. So that's all you, my man. That's all you. Holy shit, everybody smashed the slate. What the fuck did I miss, says Jordan? Yeah, man. So far, at least 5 people that we're seeing in here balling out last night. Last night was a very interesting night to get different because guys like DeJounte Murray were not that highly owned in a lot of tournaments. Again, some people that were talking about how they won $2,000 on Patreon earlier, one person, or Twitter, one person reached out to me and basically said, won this X amount of money, $2,000+ on a 6% owned DeJounte Murray. 6% owned DeJounte Murray made no sense. And we were talking yesterday about how DeJounte Murray was going to be somehow a pivot play. And when he pops off for 60 points, and a lot of people in the community are on him and just some other plays that looked graded out really well yesterday, bang, bada bang, that's what happens. Lonzo, DeJounte Murray. Sal, do you like favors today? No, not really. I have favors for, I think, 17 minutes today, so no, not really. I gave favors 17 minutes. He's at 17.9 fantasy points. Almost had a 20% ROI last night. There you go, Jonathan. That's very nice, very nice. John Wall over 21.5 points. Gordon over 21 points. Zion over 32 points and rebounds. Ingram over 30.5 points and rebounds. If I was to take any of those, it would be John Wall. If I was to take any of those, but yeah, I would take John Wall if you're picking one of them. Yo, Sally V, been watching since I first saw you on Awesemo. Keep growing, my guy. Thank you, my man. Thank you. Maybe we'll be on Awesemo back soon. I haven't heard from them in a couple of, I would say, weeks, but I know that they're pretty loaded up on their schedule. They got a lot of good guys over there. Keep growing, my guy. Cantor or Vooch on Superdraft? You feeling Mitchell and Oubre tonight? I like Oubre. I like Mitchell. I like Oubre more than Mitchell if we're talking about on Draftkings perspective. I like Oubre a good amount tonight. I think he looks very, very quality of a play. Let's see where his ownership is basically coming in right now. So Oubre's ownership is going to match it. Some other guys, like yesterday's play, like it's not going to be as similar, but Andrew Wiggins, right? You had a popular DeMar DeRozan yesterday for good reasons. Today you have a popular Kelly Oubre, right? Their teammates, DeJounte Murray yesterday went off at a lower ownership. Teammate again to Kelly Oubre in a very similar price range right now, right? I think that the price range is, what's the difference here? Kelly Oubre's $300 less. You have Andrew Wiggins at $6,500 coming off of a 39-minute game. Wiggins is playing a lot of minutes. I prefer Oubre point per dollar wise right now, but Wiggins also a very strong play for this type of a slate. I'm surprised John Wall and Damian Lillard are not picking up as much ownership. I'm surprised Kyrie Irving is not picking up as much ownership. So yeah, the top of the board, guys like DeJounte Murray and Vooch and Kelly Oubre and Lonnie Walker are picking up ownership, and I like those guys, right? But there's a lot of guys in that mid to lower range that are not picking up ownership right now that I'm all about today. Murray or Wall for you if you had to pick one. Between DeJounte Murray and John Wall today, if I had to pick one, I think the answer very well could be both. Let's see. Right now, DeJounte Murray grades out as my number 2 overall play. John Wall is like a top, right around top 20 play for me. So the answer is going to be DeJounte Murray. Best spend ups for you today. In the 10K plus range, I like Lillard the most. After that, I would probably rank it Lillard, Vooch, and Kyrie in that order right now. Trying to factor in price as well, right? Obviously, if we're just going for pure points upside, that's when James Harden starts to become in play. So my highest projected player is Harden by about 5 points today. So, I mean, Harden's firmly in play. He's a yes for me. But factoring in the price point of Dame for $900 less, I would probably rank it Dame, Vooch, and Kyrie in that order right now. Vooch, yet again, just looks fantastic. He's got nobody on this team. As long as he plays 30 to 32 plus minutes, not 80, he's just way too cheap. He's just still way too cheap. Just as an update, right now in the 7-game slate, I have 15 yeses today. On Patreon, you can check it. Link down below. I have 15 yeses in the player pool. Only one of those guys that is a yes today is below $5,000, so that's pretty interesting. But then you got the value guys that kind of make out the rest of it. I currently have 49 total players in a player pool tonight, which feels about right for a 7-game slate. Feels about right so far. I also turned a good profit on Superdraft last night. There you go. Favorite guard under $5,600 Rooskies today. My favorite guard under $5,600 Rooskies. Let's see. Yeah, that's an interesting price range, right? Like you're looking at a bunch of guys that don't look that great. I've got no yeses under that range right now. I've got no yeses in the guard range. So it's kind of just a bunch of guys that you're going to factor through. Like I kind of just get up to that 6K range, right? A couple guys in that 6K range, like your DeJounte Murray's. If you want to go down a little bit more, Lonnie Walker is only small forward eligible. Let me pull up DraftKings just to see. Favorite guard under 5,600. I'm going to pull up DraftKings just so we can get the positionality correct for some of these guys. Get in there. Quit slipping, says Jonathan. Yeah, get into the Patreon, guys. Thoughts on Adams right now? I think there's just better options, right? Adams is kind of locked into like this 28-minute role at best. He's locked into a team that's just got these other bodies around him that play close to the basket, in an Ingram and a Zion. Lonzo coming back and shooting better and picking up rebounds himself. It's just really hurting Adams' upside. Like Adams' upside, sure, he can go for like 35 tonight, but that's like his ceiling game these days. It's just really tough to trust Adams and feel good about it when you're trying to win a GPP, let alone like even cash, right? Any type of security there. DeJounte all of a sudden wants to be great. DeJounte, so the problem with DeJounte last year was they were just putting him on these minutes limits, right? He was still a little bit of a raw prospect, but he was always limited. Like you were lucky if you got DeJounte Murray playing 26 minutes last year. Now that's been off, right? And now with no LaMarcus Aldridge out there, you're seeing a lot of stuff rise. The rebounding rate's rising, right? But he's been playing well all season long. I mean, I'm just very surprised DeJounte hasn't been in the 7K range this year. So for the person who asked me about my favorite guard below $5,600, let's scroll down now just to see kind of who's in that range. Elfrid Payton's interesting at $4,800, $5,600 and below. You're dealing with some guys who are out. You're dealing with guys who aren't getting minutes right now. Guys who are priced up for guys being out, like an Anthony Simons. Patty Mills at $4,400. Let's just go all the way down just to make sure we don't miss any of the quote-unquote values. Yeah, so that's kind of it right now. Like Frank Mason at $3,300 is probably my favorite out of all of them. So like just going all the way down to the bottom, $3,300 Frank Mason on DraftKings for a guard under $5,600. It's kind of a dead range. After that, it's just kind of factoring through a bunch of guys like Seth Curry, Patty Mills. I would take over Seth Curry. A little bit more expensive Elfrid Payton. So I'd probably go all the way down to the bottom and go Frank Mason. I just signed up for Patreon. How would you suggest to start building off of the projection? Says Vic, round of applause to Vic joining the community. Welcome home, my man, Vic. Welcome home. So basically, how I would suggest it. So I assume you have the tool sheet up, the projection sheet up. So you have to use a little bit of like human intuition, right? Like this is data. So data is going to help you a ton. It's going to help you make guided decisions using predictive analytics and a bunch of historical data, right? But you also have to have human intuition. So like if you want to rank it by the value rankings, I have it filtered that way right now. You'll see Lonnie Walker's the number one play tonight at 23.1 points. DeJounte Murray the number two play. So that's kind of taking into account the projection versus the price. So that's good, right? But sometimes you're going to get a guy who pops up really nice, like a Sterling Brown tonight. I have him as a no. Maybe I should make him a maybe. I probably will if no more value opens up. But because he's only projecting out for like 18.5 points. So at the end of the day, if you fade a Sterling Brown who's definitely going to pick up ownership tonight, if you fade him and he goes out there and he hits this projection at 18.5, you fading him, it doesn't hurt you. He scored 18.5. How is that? It doesn't hurt the people who played him really, but it doesn't hurt you. For a guy at 3,200 to crush you, he'd have to score like 25 plus, right? Like even if he scores 22, yeah, playing him feels great, but not playing him, it's just 22 points. Like that's not crushing you, right? So you have to have some human intuition, but I like to look at the value ranks, understanding that the contest you specifically are playing in, if it's a larger field GPP, yeah, you're going to have to get different somewhere, right? You can't just play like the top valued guys. They're going to be chalky, right? Just understanding that the contest that you're playing will help as well. Lonnie Walker is small forward shooting guard. Yeah, so I mean, if we're going to count guards and include Lonnie Walker into that, then he would be the guy. What pay-up options over 9K do you like today, Sal? What's going on, man? So you just missed out on Vooch with that, right? Over 9K today, basically it's Harden and Lillard, and they're very close for me right now. Like Harden is my number 12 overall play. Lillard is like my number 14 overall play. So I personally like Lillard more just because that it allows you to do a little bit more with the pricing there at that $900 difference. I'm not against playing both of them if we get a little bit more value. We already have decent value. Like you could play a Lonnie Walker and a Frank Mason, and then you can start to build your lineup from there and be able to get like a Lillard and a Harden tonight. But just to kind of give you a full leash on what I'm doing there, I think the three best plays over 9K are Kyrie, Lillard, and James Harden tonight. There's not that many options above that price tag, but that's where I would go. And in the order, I'd probably go with Lillard, Kyrie, and Harden, factoring in everything in that order. I'm just trying to factor in price. Like Harden's grading out better than what I'm giving him credit for right now, but I also don't think there's enough secure value to like just pure, like straight up say like he's a lock tonight. The second we get one more value piece, and Lonnie Walker I think is probably the most secure value right now. The second we get one more piece of that value, like Frank Mason, yeah, he looks decent down there. He played bigger minutes in the last game because of a blowout. He'll probably play like 20. I have him projected for 20 minutes I think today. Let me pull up Frank Mason. I think I have him projected for not Mason Plumlee. Frank Mason I have for 20 minutes today against Portland. So like he can very easily have a good game and score like 17 points, right? Who's your number one overall play today? Right now, it's basically like a coin flip for me between Lonnie Walker and DeJounte Murray. Stairmaster Devin. Uh-oh. Why would you need someone to talk you into LeBron with AD out, LOL? Why would you need someone to talk you into LeBron with AD out? What you talking about? Ain't no LeBron on this slate. Any concern for the San Antonio Golden State guys playing the same game tonight? Nope. No concern, really. The buy low spot yesterday for Middleton was fire. Hey, Kyrie or Lillard? I'll go Lillard if I had to pick one. Kemba today? Yeah, Kemba's interesting. So, like, we can go to Boston. If Jaylen Brown's in, Kemba's like the only guy, even with Jaylen Brown in or out, that I really have interest in. Obviously, Tatum becomes nicer. Maybe something in value-wise pops up a little bit, but I don't expect it if Brown is out. But from a Boston perspective today, I think Kemba's the only one I have in a player pool. So Boston today, Kemba's the only player I currently have in a player pool, and I'm projecting him out to just hit value. So my highest ranked player today on Boston is Kemba Walker, and they're just properly priced. He's projecting out as my 37th overall play. So not great. Super Draft plays, Sal, thanks. Yeah, man, what's going on? So for Super Draft today, I like, there's a lot of centers, so I like getting different there. So like not going all the way to the top to like a DeMarcus Cousins. He's my highest projected player, but a lot of centers there. But just at some other positions, Cole Anthony at a 1.8x multiplier is really, really sneaky. Jordan Clarkson with no Mike Conley at 1.6x can really pop off the slate. So those guys, right? When guys have similar projections, I then look to what the multiplier is, because obviously if there's going to be variance, they're not going to score their exact projection. It's just a median, and that's where upside comes in. So that's another strategy I've been playing with, and it seems to be successful. I'll also let you know that the sponsor of today's show is Jock Market, since we got a nice little crowd in here. If you're not already familiar, they're sponsoring it. You see the code on the screen right now. Daily Fantasy Sports meets the stock exchange. It opens at 5, so it's like the stock market, but now you can own shares of players for tonight's event. It's very fun. Depending on how many fantasy points they score is where they'll rank overall in the Jock, quote-unquote, Jock Market, JOCK space MKT. You could download it today on the Google Play Store, on the Apple Store, whatever it is. It's free to download. There's free contests in there as well, so if you want to play some of the free ones. But they have real money markets, just like the stock market. Okay, you link your bank account, you do all that type of stuff. Bang, you want to buy a $6 share tonight. Let's just name a guy, a $6 share potentially tonight of like a Kyrie Irving. It'll probably be a little bit more than that, but honestly might only come in at like $6 or $7. If that's the case tonight and you want to buy that share, and now you have like, say, 10 shares. So you spent $70, right? $7 a share, 10 shares. You have $70 in Kyrie. If he starts scoring higher than his expectation, basically if he just ranks out higher in the market, you get more money. If he's the highest scorer overall tonight, you win $25 per share that you own, which is basically like a 3.5x value on that $7 per share. That might sound a little bit difficult, kind of explaining it out without visualizing it, but they have tutorials on their website, Jock Market, right? They have tutorials in the app. It's very easy to play with because there's free format. So check it out. If you want to use it, the second that you deposit, they'll give you a $20 match right away. So you don't even have to deposit 20. You just put the minimum in, bang, you use the code SAL20, SAL20. It's a lot of fun. It is where the future of this is, in my opinion. Like, sports betting is the future. Live sports betting is the future. Jock Market is literally that, right? It's a game that's based on fantasy and sports betting, and there's live aspects to it in terms of live trading, right? It's like a day trader almost within the app itself. It really is. So check it out if you want to down below. We're a family. We love you, Sal, says Kevin OG. Yeah, man, you all my friends. You all my friends up in here right now, man. Everybody's a friend. You out there right now, wherever you're tuning in from, just know that you love, man. You loved. But yeah, check out Jock Market. If you have any questions specifically, let me know. Sal, you talked me onto LeBron yesterday, which saved me. Just above breaking even. Appreciate you. Shout out to you, my man. Yeah, LeBron looked good. LeBron looked really fucking good yesterday, right? Bam or Draymond Green today. Factoring in price and everything, I'll be going with Draymond. I could pull up Golden State's minutes today. I'm giving Draymond big minutes yet again. 34 minutes of play today for Draymond. It's still going to look really good for him. He's averaging like 1.1 fantasy points per minute with all these centers out this season, and that's with him shooting as badly as he possibly can, right? With him shooting like 1 of 7 and 3 of 11 in these games. The second Draymond shoots decent, right? The second you see Draymond not score 5 or 7 points in a game, but he scores 15, 16, 18 points, right? God forbid Draymond scores 16 points in a game. He's probably getting that double-double. He might get that triple-double. And he's dropping at least 45 to 50 plus points if he gets real life points. And we have not seen that yet, right? So a lot of people aren't even projecting that in because his point per minute rates this year are factoring in all the things that he's doing activity-wise from a rebounding standpoint, from an assist percentage standpoint. Those both have looked fantastic all year long, the assists, but now the rebounding rate with no big men out there. So, man, oh man, imagine he actually starts making some baskets, right? And he's playing closer to the rim, so you would expect that to happen. Listening to at the gym, stair stepper or lifting while I listen. Hey, man, yeah, both sound really good right now. Get the cardio up, man. Get the stair stepper in. But both sound really good. I'm a proponent for both of those things. Proponent for both. Blake or Alec Burks today. If I had to pick one, I'll go Blake. Up to $250 on Jock Market. Do it. I used that Sal $50 whiskey pre-Super Bowl cheers. Yeah, the Sal 50's done. So you had to get in for the Sal 50 before the Super Bowl started. But my man Kyle Matt already up to $250. Let's go. I'm going to be going to Arcadia in a couple of weeks. This just reminded me because I just got a notification that I have a package here. So I've been buying shit. Hold on, let me get this thing. Fuck it. Somebody hold the room. This is going to take 2 seconds. Hold the room. All right, we back. So I got this thing in today. I got to see how ridiculous this is about to fucking look. Y'all going to screen grab this? I think there's a thing now on YouTube that you can do like YouTube moments, kind of like you could for Twitch. So if somebody wants to cut this, let me know. But I got this today because I'm going to go hiking in Arcadia with a couple of my buddies over the weekend in a couple of weeks. Check this motherfucking thing out. Don't worry, we'll get you your projections still. Don't worry, we're coming through. Yo, check this all-in-one motherfucking thing out. We got like 2... We about to do some shit in this. People will see me pull up to the mountain in this and say, oh, we got to go. Oh, we got to get out of here right now. I'm just going to do my show like this, right? Damn. So just so people know, this is a ski mask, right? This is a ski mask right now. So it's got the hat part of it. It's got 2 hats in this motherfucking thing. It's got 2 hats. It's got a neck warmer. And it's got another like little mask, you know, because you got your COVID. This isn't for COVID, but this is just in case it gets too hot. Where did you go? Somebody said. I had to get my motherfucking ski mask, bro. So yeah, this shit's good. Let's get these likes up, y'all. He deserves it. I appreciate you a ton. Thank you, my man. Thank you, my man. Artful Dog. Hopefully you're having a good day. How's everybody's day going? I'm going to get all your questions in. Don't worry. I got your questions, all 350 plus of you. Thank you. But how's all your motherfucking days going today? How you doing? 3 Spurs, too much in cash. I assume you're going DeJounte, Lonnie Walker. Who's the third? Is it DeRozan? Yeah, I kind of only want 2. I probably only want 2. Oh, man, Sal, you look like you about to rob the nearest cafe. Uh-oh. Somebody says thuggin'. Uh-oh. Yeah, man. So I'm going to keep the neck warmer on. It's not even fucking cold in here, yo. It's the hottest day it's been in fucking months in North Carolina today. Sal, my dude, how we feeling about fading Harden and going with Vooch and Embiid? I think that's fine. Yeah, I'm all about that. I mean, Vooch is going to be owned tonight, right? But Embiid, basically because Vooch will be owned, Embiid's going to continue to be low owned. So if you're getting yourself an MVP level Joel Embiid, yes, he's an MVP level player this year. If you're getting yourself an MVP level Joel Embiid who's playing relatively bigger minutes in these closer games, yeah, it seems pretty nice to get Joel Embiid at what? I would wager that Joel Embiid is single digit owned tonight. I would wager that. I would say that he's going to be like 8% owned tonight. Day is going great. Love to hear it. Sal, about to have J. Cole in the earbuds with the ski mask. Hey, yeah. I mean, I might try and unplug, right? Here's the thing, though. For, like, the hike, I got to just fucking start vlogging, man. It's just the weather's been shitty, and we've been indoors all day, so there's not much to vlog. But now with the weather nicer, I got to start vlogging. But definitely when I go in 2 weeks, I'm going to go 2 weeks from Thursday to Arcadia up in Maine to hike. I want to unplug in terms of, like, listening to music and stuff and actually enjoy nature and the whole point of why I'm there, right? Retreat style. But at the same time, I want to bring my phone so I could vlog some stuff, so we might have to do a little bit of both. Sorry if you answered already, but no concern with Spurs' third game in 4 days. Not really. Like, I'm not really interested in, like, the Rudy Gays of the world. Rudy Gay also, I think, had a day off in there as well. He didn't play one of those days, but I'm not like concerned for the younger players like DeJounte Murray. They've shown no worries of limiting him. They've had that situation already this year, so I'm not really concerned. Lonnie Walker coming back after missing a couple games, so he's another one I like. So for the guys that I personally like, younger players like DeRozan, you can maybe say, okay, older player here, maybe the minutes aren't going to be there as much. I question that a little bit, but the ones that I'm really interested in playing tonight, for the most part, are DeJounte and Lonnie, and Lonnie's been off, and DeJounte's a young player. How does Derrick Jones Jr. look today? He says Mr. David Carroll. Yeah, Derrick Jones Jr. today is not going to look that good. Let me spell Derrick properly first. 2 R's. I have him projected right now for 15.7 points. Not even a 4X value. Subbed. I'm in DK NBA pool tonight with me. Wish me luck. Won my first 2 the last nights. Now I'm hooked. Hey, the King of Virginia. What's up, man? Yeah, shout out to you. Any questions that you got specifically, let me know. That's awesome to hear. Sorry if you've answered, so we answered that. But I forgot to ask Sal, how is Jeremy Grant for you today? Jeremy Grant looks nice today, but here's my problem with Jeremy Grant is the ownership spiking. So Jeremy Grant is no doubt in my mind too cheap, right? But how cheap, right? He's not $1,000 too cheap. Is he 6'5", right? Around $500 too cheap, maybe $400. So my problem with Jeremy Grant is if he's going to pick up ownership, I can just go elsewhere. I can go to Rudy Gobert for $200 more, right? Go to DeJounte Murray for $500 less. I feel better about that ownership. So Jeremy Grant, he played 48 minutes in an overtime game, right? So he plays in overtime. He scores all these points. He takes a lot of attempts. But again, it's an overtime game. So if that's going to skew people, and again, the price point should be higher on Jeremy Grant. He's a good value play today. He looks good in my projections today. My problem with Jeremy Grant is his ownership. So if there's somebody that I'd be interested in fading today that's going to be highly owned, it would be Jeremy Grant. Nothing wrong with him at all. I'm projecting him for almost 40 points. I'm projecting him for a 5.6x value. Jeremy Grant just pure today. Grades out for me as a top 10 play. It's nice you can put him in the small forward spot. If you're playing cash, yeah, I think Jeremy Grant looks like a pretty strong option. And GPPs, when he's probably going to come in as a borderline like highest owned player today, one of the highest like 2 or 3 owned guys today, I could stay away from it. First time in Maine, question mark? I've been in Maine one other time. Is Portsmouth or Portsmouth? Portsmouth, is that in Maine? But I've been in Maine one other time. I'm going with 3 guys. So one of the other guys I went with Maine after high school. The summer after high school, me and his parents, we did like a road trip through all of basically like the New England area. Boston a couple of days, Maine, New Hampshire. I think we went cross zip lining in New Hampshire. It was pretty sick. Sal, my man, who's your favorite player over 10K? So over 10K, it's Harden at 10.9. Right at 10K, if we count that in, I'll go Lillard. Power forward or forward for $3,000 flat. There's nobody today at $3,000 flat that I have any interest in. My guy, yesterday there was a couple of guys at 3K flat that can be in play. I mean, at 3,200, not a forward, but Sterling Brown. At 3,300, not a forward, Frank Mason. I prefer Mason there. But the only 3K guy that I really have interest in that's a forward today is going to be Lonnie Walker. Danny Green at $3,800 isn't a terrible option. I have him for 28 minutes. I can pull up Philly's minutes right now. So Philly's minutes are on the screen. I gave Danny Green 27 minutes. But if you're looking for like a 3K flat option today, I don't got much for you. My highest ranked 3K flat option is 74th overall, Precious Achiuwa at 13.6 points. So I'm personally not going to be going there, my dude. Do you have a good value center that you like today? Not really. Like the centers I like are Vooch, are Embiid. A lot of these pay up options, like point per dollar wise, those guys are values. Rudy Gobert's going to be a value. DeMarcus Cousins still looks like a top 15 play on the slate today. So there's not really like any value center options. I would say if I had to pick one, it would be Rashawn Holmes, but he's not cheap. Like I assume you're saying value like in the 4 or 3K range. Yeah, nobody in that range. If you told me to pick one, I would say DeAndre Jordan at $4,600. But Rashawn Holmes at $5,700 is below 6K, looks decent. Well, glad you were coming. You said that you live in New Hampshire. Very nice to hear. Do you like any Orlando guys outside of Vooch today? I think some of those cheap guys, if you're just like in that range and there's a couple $100 less to play, Bacon, sure. But Cole Anthony after that, that's about it though. It's really just Vooch. Vooch is the only one I'll prioritize in any of like my single entry or 3 maxes. How do you feel about Jordan Clarkson? I like him. I like him a lot on Superdraft today with a 1.6x multiplier. I'll pull up Utah's minutes with no Mike Conley right now. I'm giving Jordan Clarkson 31 minutes of play, and that can easily go up. He's only $6,000 with no Mike Conley. He's averaging over 1.1 fantasy points per minute so far this season. Jordan Clarkson is a very strong play for me. He's on a short list of guys that can get into my single entry lineup today. PJ Tucker have any value since Wood is out? Nope. That man's value does not change no matter who is on or off the court. Hey, Sal, I love the ski mask. Is Tyson play? So Tyson played more minutes in that last game, closed against I would say a team that makes sense for him to close against. Tice for me, not in play today. I gave him 26 minutes. I think 28 would be a little bit too high personally if I was to go back to that. So gave him 26 minutes. Not shocked if he plays 24. Only have him projected for about 21 points today. Marvin Bagley, 4.9K, and Blake at 5K. Not playing either, but damn, never thought I'd see the day. Yeah, exactly. I mean, Blake, if I had to choose one there, I know you don't want to play either, but I agree. I don't want to play either. Yeah, I mean, Bagley, just because he's not getting the minutes, he fits into this team weird at this point, right? And they're not using him properly. They were for like a week there, and then they just stopped for whatever reason. Still trying to give Hassan Whiteside like 16 to 18 minutes a game. It makes no sense. And then Blake Griffin just potentially washed, right? Acadia, it's beautiful out there. Yeah, I've never been. I've never been. I'm excited to go check it out. Put the mask back on. Uh-oh. My man trying to see me with the mask back on. Yeah, man, we got the ski mask. I could barely hear in this thing, but if I cover my mouth, you won't be able to hear me. But yeah, we chilling. We chilling right now in a ski mask. People are going to be like, yo, what's going on in this fucking chat? People are going to be like, who the fuck is this guy? Who the fuck is that? Are you hiking? Jeff asked me, I don't even know what the name of that mountain is. I don't know where I'm hiking. My buddy's a really avid hiker, so I want to get into it. So I just bought a bunch of hiking gear. I bought boots. I bought a jacket. I already have a lot of stuff that is going to work as like underlayers from running. JJ Redick, not for me. I'm currently projecting Josh Hart in, by the way. Let me see if any news is broke since we've been live. But I don't know the mountains we're hiking, to be honest with you. But we're going to be there. We're going to hike all day, basically all day Friday and Saturday. So do some long hikes then. Leave on Sunday. Get there Thursday afternoon. So, yeah, should be fun. Is Shake in play? Yeah, Shake's in play for me. I give Shake Milton today 22 minutes. He's barely in play. Cheap enough price point. Is DFS your full-time job? It is, yes. I have a video pinned up in my profile on YouTube right now, and it basically walks through the revenue we made last year. It's been my full-time job since June of 2019. Basically, when I graduated college, I just decided to start doing it full-time. I started this in October of 2018. My boy Sal into that kinky shit. Where's the gag ball with the mask? Uh-oh. Andrew, what you saying in the chat right now? This is just a ski mask, but it's like an all-in-one because I was like, I got to buy a neck warmer, and then I got to buy 2 layers of hats. This shit's got 2 layers of hats in it, and then it's got a ski mask in it and a neck warmer. This shit's so nice. DeAndre Jordan and Embiid or Drummond and Zion? Ooh. Draymond and Zion, not Drummond, by the way. Ooh, that's a good one. Ooh. I mean, Jordan, I'm going to go with Draymond and Zion. Yeah, I mean, like, Jordan is just so inconsistent. Jacopoto today, he's just appropriately priced. I'm not really interested. Best 5K flat play today. Any position? Let's go to Draftkings. I like that question. Best 5K flat play. What are our options? We got a lot of them. Mitchell Robinson, Kelly Olynyk, Toscano Anderson, or Terrence Ross today. If you told me to pick one of these guys to play in a GPP, it would be Terrence Ross. I would rank it right now. Ross, Robinson, Toscano Anderson, and Olynyk in that order at 5K flat. Does Tate look good for you? Jason Tate, the rookie? Not really. No, not as good as he did yesterday because not only do you have John Wall coming back, you have Eric Gordon coming back. So I gave him about 22.96 points. Do you ever miss New York, Sal? Personally, I'm a little tired of it. New York City, I miss the people. I think so. I didn't live ever in Manhattan. Me and my girlfriend have been talking recently about potentially making a move up there. We want to live closer to our parents, so potentially going back to where my parents live, or at least closer to them and my friends. And she has a lot of family and friends over there too for like anywhere from like 4 to 6 months, and then going out to Austin, Texas, where her family lives and doing the same thing, which I like both areas. Every time I go to New Jersey and visit my cousins, you can see New York from the highway. We go into New York sometimes and I see my buddies. It's lovely. It's a magical place, New York City. I can't touch on how much it is right now. I've been there a couple of times, but not at night, like night scene wise. But if I went, it would be in the summer. Central Park is it's a must-see place, Central Park, when it's a nice day out. It's just an insane environment in that big of a city. So do I miss New York? I miss the people. I definitely don't miss New York itself. No, it's like overcrowded. The downtown, like Manhattan area, that's just like unique in itself. But like the surrounding boroughs, no, I don't miss it. It's just the people. It's just my family and it's just my friends. No love for Julius Randle. You haven't touched on him, Sal. Randle looks okay. I think I'm actually going to be higher on Julius Randle than most people in the industry today, but he's just other guys around him like a Vooch and a Kyrie Kyrie's not picking up all that much ownership. Randle, for me right now, I have him for like 45 points. We've been seeing the bigger minutes lately. I'll pull up the Knicks minutes right now. I gave Randle 37 minutes today, which is definitely probably going to be higher. I think the industry will probably give him about 35, 36. So I'm higher on Randle than the industry today. That still being said, it's just a little bit tough to get there for him. He's not going to pick up ownership, though. The problem with Randle is, like, when Embiid's not picking up ownership, when Kyrie's picking up, like, some ownership, when Draymond's not going to pick up ownership, he's cheaper. Like, I'd rather just get to go those guys. I'm checking out, fellas. Good luck tonight. Let's repeat. Yeah. Same to you. Sal, no, you don't play cash, but give me your top 3 locks, not names Harden and Embiid. Well, I definitely don't have any locks, but if I was to play cash tonight, which, again, I don't, I would start my lineup with Lonnie Walker and DeJounte Murray. The third guy would probably be Nikola Vucevic in there. And then I'd be trying to get another stud in that lineup. Do you utilize/find DraftKings missions and or crowns to be useful? No. I personally don't really care about the missions. If that's just like somebody's hobby, that's fine, but I don't really do the missions much. How many minutes do you have projected for Rashawn Holmes? Rashawn Holmes from Sacramento tonight, I gave 30 minutes. I could see him playing 28, but I gave him 30 minutes. If you had to play 2 centers on DK today, who would it be? If I had to play 2 centers today on DK, who would it be? It would be Vooch, and then it's going to depend on how the rest of your lineup is being built out. If I had to play 2 centers today on DK, it'd probably be Vooch and Cousins, just because like Embiid's pretty expensive, and I might want to get up to like a Lillard if you can. I need to put some motherfucking Vaseline on my lips. Josh Jackson in play for you today. Play big minutes because of overtime. Josh Jackson will be in play if there's no DeLon Wright. I'm currently projecting in DeLon Wright though, but if there's no DeLon Wright, yeah. John Wall in play tonight? Yeah, John Wall looks very nice tonight. He's priced up a little bit, but yeah, he looks nice. Coming off of rest, I gave him 32 minutes. Tate or Theis, if you had to pick one. Tate. What do you think of Zion today with Wood out? He looks okay. Zion looks okay. So I can put, it's just the same stuff for Zion. I gave him 33 minutes, I believe. It's like the same stuff every day. Zion's going to project out for literally like 40 fantasy points for me. If I pull up New Orleans right now, every single day they almost look the same. Lonzo's been looking better lately. Lonzo's my favorite play on. So I ranked New Orleans today. Lonzo, Brandon Ingram, and Zion, and then Josh Hart. Those 4 in that order. Overall plays. Zion I have for 40.5 points. He just looks okay. Draymond ranked for you? Yeah, I'm much higher than the field on Draymond. I've been much higher on the field these last couple of games than Draymond, and we've been having success, myself and on Patreon. Draymond's my number 10 overall play today. I expect Draymond to be single-digit owned again. He's $6,900. People think he's too expensive. No, he's not. As long as these centers remain out, he's playing the center position in close games, which I would expect today against San Antonio with some bodies out for them. In close games, he's going to play 35 minutes, right? He's going to play 34 to 36-plus minutes, and he's going to average around 1.1 fantasy points per minute. And again, imagine if this guy scores 15 points today. 15 real-life points, right? Because lately, he's been getting you 40-plus points. Draymond Green has been getting you 40-plus points and scoring 5 real-life points, right? Imagine the day when he scores 15 points playing closer to the basket. So in my opinion, everybody in the industry has been under projecting him. I've been shocked actually. Like DFS is becoming the market is becoming much more efficient. It's nowhere near fully efficient because nobody ever has the full information for NBA on when these injuries are going to occur and things like that. But with all the information out there, I thought people would be swarming to Draymond Green. It's not the case. Now I get it. His price point, people want to jump up or jump down to DeJounte Murray in that price range, right? People want to jump up maybe to a DeMarcus Cousins still in that price range. I understand at the similar price points, right? Jeremy Grant is picking up ownership right now. It's easy for me to pivot $100 less to Draymond Green over Jeremy Grant. I have Jeremy Grant as the better play today, but Jeremy Grant right now is my number So Jeremy Grant's my number 7 overall play, and Draymond's my number 10 overall play. I have Jeremy Grant for 2 more points than Draymond Green tonight. But if the ownership between the two of them is going to be like 4x the ownership, let's see what it's probably going to be. Yeah, like 4x the ownership on Jeremy Grant, it's easy. If one guy is going to be, let's just say, one guy comes in at 28% owned today, and another guy's going to come in at 6% owned, and the only difference between them is $100 and like 2 fantasy points, yeah, give me the guy who's coming in. Like, that's a great pivot today is Draymond Green off of Jeremy Grant. That's a great pivot, right? And obviously, Jeremy Grant can go out there and shoot 20 times and score 35, 45 points today, and he can beat Draymond Green. But if 4 times the amount of people are expecting that to happen, I'll just pivot away from the public, right? Right? How's Curry looking today? Which one, right? Seth Curry is somebody who's a value play right now. It just looks like, okay, like, yeah, he'll be in a player pool. I'm not going to prioritize him. And Steph up top is kind of getting lost in the sauce for me, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. He's getting lost in the sauce up there. I prefer Damian Lillard. I prefer Kyrie for cheaper. And then I prefer definitely James Harden if you're going all the way up there. Draymond or Kelly O today? Draymond. Who would be the star? Who would the star be you look for with Murray, Walker, and Vooch? Who would the star be that I'm looking for? Like, what's the pay-up option? If you can afford to get all the way up to Harden, Harden's the play today. But factoring in price point, it's Lillard for me. Like, if I had to start my lineup with one stud today and build around that, it's Lillard at $10,000. That's factoring in what his ownership's going to be today, relatively low, probably like 15%. But if you can afford Harden and it's not stressing out your lineup, yeah, I have Harden for 5 more points than anybody else on the slate. Salad boys don't respect National Pizza Day like us. We New Yorkers. Hey, yeah. Shout out to all you people in New York right now on National Pizza Day. Go get you some. I'm a Patreon member, and I won 22 contests over the last 7 days, over $100 a night, but I've hit a wall over the past 6 days. I'm doing all single entry tournaments below 2K people. Any advice? Yeah, just stick to the plan. Stick to the plan. Make sure that when you're playing in those, like 2K people, still a lot of people. Like I prioritize like around 500 or less, but 2K still relative to the 100K still low. But here's the thing. You went on a streak. You said when you were winning 22 contests over 7 days, $100 a night on average, you're going to just naturally have those ebbs and flows, right? That's naturally going to be the case. So like when you're winning for a week straight, yeah, there might be like a 3 or 4 day losing streak. That's very realistic, right? Only 20% of the field wins a night. But if you think it's something about your play, like if you're finishing dead fucking last every night and guys aren't getting injured in your lineups, evaluate it. Were there blowouts? Did that kind of get you ruined? Are you just picking the wrong chalk plays and stuff like that? Or just your studs aren't getting there? Evaluate it, right? But if you're looking at like a 3 or 4 game sample of you on a slide, it could really just be 2 blowouts are really hurting you. So it's always important to evaluate your game, right? Winning is fantastic, but only 20% of the people win a night. That's why we're trying to be in that 20% every night, but it's not going to be every single night. There's going to be losing streaks, but you have to evaluate your game. Are you losing tremendously, like dead fucking last, or did you just miss the bubble one night, right? Did you literally miss paying cash out by like 2 fantasy points? Okay, well, you got a pretty decent lineup then. Something didn't work your way. Oh, somebody got hurt. Oh, there's a blowout, right? Stuff like that. You can't control that type of variance. But I guess it's much more nuanced depending on like what you're doing and things like that. Much respect, Sal. Respect on the hiking, Sal. I try and get out of on the trails as much as possible. Follow the bad defenses. Detroit guys will crush tonight. There you go. Yeah, Jeff, thanks, man. So I'm not like an avid hiker, but I kind of want to be. I kind of want to explore a little bit more. The idea of just taking trips a couple times a year with some buddies from back home that they're into it too, it's just a really nice hobby, right? Like I run. I've been running for years, and obviously that's terrible on your knees. I understand that. It's very scary to me to think the days that I can't run because of my knees. But it's a way for me to get stress relief out, gets my endorphins going, and it's cheap. It's a cheap hobby. I just buy running shoes once a year, and then I'm good, right? It costs me like $80 to run wherever I want. So it's fun. But the same thing with hiking, right? You're out in nature. That helps you long-term health-wise, right? Just in terms of your mental health and things like that. Helps you physically in the short term and also long-term. And then also it's just like a nice bonding thing, right? Like I like the idea of just picturing, okay, we're going to go hike. We're going to go hike in some snow-capped mountains. We're going to go do that. And then we're going to go down. We're going to find a nice little bar or lounge with a fireplace, and we're just going to drink on some whiskey or bourbon. That sounds fucking fantastic for a weekend, right? Having trouble finding someone other than Walker for 3,800. I think Frank Mason's in play, but don't expect big minutes. Similar things can be said for Sterling Brown. Like these guys might get you 20 minutes, right? But yeah, there's not much down there. I think Danny Green's in play down there, but then you start to get to those 4K like Magic guys and those 4K Philly guys. How many players are in your player pool? Right now, I believe it was 49. I'll update that based on any news that comes out. But my player pool currently is, and this is for 150s, of course. 49 players are in my player pool, good sir. No offense, but didn't you say Draymond's price was too high yesterday? All love. No, sir. No, sir, Jordan. I did not say it was too high. If anything was said around that, and you can go ahead and check the tapes. There's a live stream out there. But if anything was said around that, I could say it's getting up there, but it's definitely not still too high. No doubt about that. Draymond was a quality, strong play yesterday. He didn't make my single entry lineup, but he made a 3-max lineup for me. Awesome, man. Much appreciated. In those fields of single entries and below 2K, should I be going with a more cash lineup or GPP? Thanks. GPP. So build a lineup that you think is like cash lineup, like secure. And then for a 2,000 person field, if it's right around 2,000, you have to get different at least 3 spots, I would say. 3 to 4 spots. How does Blake Griffin look at 5K? Not great. Like, he's in a player pool for me, but he's just been ass. But he's so cheap at this point. Blake Griffin for me right now projects out for 25.6 points. So really not great. Nothing to really be flirting with. Grant or DeRozan for DK GPP. Factoring in ownership here, still Grant. He's too cheap. Still Grant, but I'll eat the chalk on. Yeah, still Grant. Curious, super new around here. Why do you do DK over like picking games in that? I just like DraftKings. Picking games in terms of betting on it. Yeah, I do betting content for PGA and the video went out today in NFL. I do a betting video a week. That's more so fun. Like. Here's the thing. Like, if you ever subscribe to a site that says, these are my picks, like, when you subscribe to a site, it should be for tools or analysis. Because betting on sports is very difficult if you're not getting in at the proper time. I don't bet on the NBA. It's, in my opinion, it's virtually impossible to win long term. You might get, but I got 3 right yesterday. Okay. How many have you gotten right over your career at minus 110 odds, right? Not the favorite that's favored by 15 points and you take the money line. So betting on the NBA is not appealing to me. It's just not fun. So at the end of the day, I make content that I enjoy doing. I enjoy playing fantasy sports. I play fantasy sports. I have skin in the game, if you will. I don't bet on NBA. I bet on NFL. I bet on PGA. So I make content for that when time allows. But yeah, I mean, I don't bet on it because it's not appealing to me. Betting on NBA, the spreads are airtight. Like I said, there's so many blowouts this year just in general. So that's part of it, and then I don't make content for it just because I just don't enjoy that idea. Any love for TLC? Got the minutes last game with KD out. Nah. RJ Hampton had like no ownership for his last 2 outings. Yeah, I'm not really interested in RJ Hampton, if I'm going to keep it real with you. RJ Hampton is RJ Hampton even on this fucking slate? Hampton's on what, Denver? Yeah, Denver's not even on the slate. No wonder I'm not interested. Whiteside won me $1,000 the other night. Shout out to you. Can't consistently beat spreads on NBA. You can't. I mean, you can look at data. I think it was Brick75 posted earlier this season in terms of like the percentages of the time that people win at different closing line numbers. I don't know. I'm butchering what the exact tweet was, but it proved it. It just basically showed like, yeah, these things are airtight, right? Like how often the number is right. It's just airtight. Grant or Butler for a GPP? I'll go Grant. What about Bledsoe or leave him with Ball playing so well? I'm not really interested in Bledsoe today. He's just appropriately priced. I think you still have a decent ceiling on Lonzo for what he's been doing lately. Thoughts on Seth Curry? Just in a player pool of like cheaper options. Last question. We going with Penny Olive Vodka or Fettuccine Alfredo with your chicken palm? Ooh, man. Penny Olive Vodka and Fettuccine Alfredo are both great. Assuming that they're both like high quality, I'll go with the Penny. And I've been an Alfredo guy. Like tortellini Alfredo and fettuccine Alfredo have been fantastic for me in the past. I love them, but they're heavy, right? So I'll go with the Penny Olive Vodka there. What is Harden's ownership looking like? He'll pick up ownership, but right now, like he'll be the highest owned stud, I would assume. Like if you're not counting Vooch at $8,900 as a stud, which you probably should, I think Harden will probably be 25% owned tonight. How many Pelicans in a lineup for you? 0 to 1. So likely 0 at most 1. Murray or Wall today? If I had to pick one, Murray. Where does it show the projected? What's up, Eric B? Ownership percentage on your sheet? Yeah, so I've been in talks. It's the worst thing waiting for companies to get back to you. But I do ownership for NFL, MMA, and PGA because the data site that I use, I need a data site to actually have older slates, right? So I can factor that all into my database. Those offer it for those sports, so I'm able to do it. For NBA, they don't offer it for it because it's daily and whatever the reason they don't cover it. But another site I've been in communication with is I'm trying to get it done, but it's like the slowest fuck. It's so painstaking. So I use like 3 or 4 offshore accounts, and I have like an ownership that's almost up to a year now because like last year's pandemic is when I started it. Basically, almost up to a year now of my own data getting just tracked. Cole Anthony and Frank Mason in the same lineup, bad. Not ideal, but I won't say that you can't do it. Can you play Oubre and Draymond in the same lineup? Yes. What do you think? Who do you like in the 6.5K, the 6.5 to 5K range at the small forward position tonight? Small forward, I assume those Golden State guys are in there. They're both in there at that range. But at the small forward 5K range and above, then I'll kind of read off some guys. Keldon Johnson is decent, I will say. Kelly Oubre I like a lot, and Andrew Wiggins I would like. So I would rank it right now in that range. Oubre, Wiggins, Keldon Johnson, and Harrison Barnes probably in that range that you just gave me right there. Thanks for all the content. Any takes on Pele from Brooklyn? Perry sent to the G League. Hit that like button. Thank you, Charlie. Yeah, I actually have Norvel Pell, I believe it is. I have him ranked today for 6 minutes. So no takes, but I did give him 6 minutes. Appreciate the feedback. I'm a Patreon member. Thought it was a field I was missing. No worries. Appreciate it. Yeah, man. So depending on what tier you're in, you'll see it for the MMA. You'll see it for PGA tomorrow. And the goal is to have it as soon as possible, but my hands are tied right now. I just don't have the data access. The company that I was working with for NFL and these other sports, they don't do NBA. And the company that I am talking to now, they don't technically offer a la carte for me to just be like, no, just give me that fucking historical data right there. They're like, now you got to buy the whole soup and nuts, right, for $4,000 a month. And I'm like, that makes no sense for me to do that. You're gonna put Vetri Media's lights, these 4 lights in front, 5 lights in front of me. You're gonna put me out of electricity here. So the goal is to try and talk to them. I got to set up another meeting later this week for a la carte. Should I avoid Green and Oubre in the same lineup? I think you could play both. Josh Jackson, a good play. I will only like Jackson today if we can secure his minutes, and that would have to see that DeLon Wright out, and ideally DeLon Wright and Ellington being out. Is everybody going to fade Boogie Cousins after a bad game last night? Yeah, Boogie Cousins is going to pick up ownership, so you don't have to worry about that. He'll pick up ownership. Cash, Vooch, or Embiid? I'll start with Vooch there. So some news we're getting is just that Kyrie's available to play for his finger, some of the stuff for tomorrow's lineup. So the news that we're waiting on as of the 3 o'clock hour, so 2 hours ago, Jaylen Brown's still questionable. DeLon Wright and Wayne Ellington, who we just touched on, questionable. And then you have Josh Hart questionable as well. That's where we're at right now. Derrick Rose playing tonight. I'm glad you asked, Chelsea. Right now we don't have an update. We don't have an update on Derrick Rose tonight. We don't know if he's playing or not. Thanks, my guy. I love the show. Thank you, Mike. Yeah, if you're here for the first time, let me know. I appreciate you. I appreciate you tuning in right now. We got above 400 people live right now around the world, which is pretty awesome. So if you're tuning in for the first time, let me know. And do a couple things for me. Hit the like and subscribe. It takes 2 seconds, but that notification bell is the big one. There's a little bell, depending on if you're watching on whatever you're watching. It might be hard on a TV, but if you're on your phone, a tablet, a laptop, whatever it is, computer, there's a little bell. If you tap that, it'll make it look like it's ringing. If you want to hit that, that really helps the channel grow, reach more people. Once that bell is hit, it actually floods in newer people that have never been to the channel, so it helps a lot. And I'll do a little bit of a plug. We're 1 like away from 100, by the way. Just got it. There we go. Nice. But also, I'll do another plug for Jock Market. They're a fantastic sponsor of the show. They're allowing me to do these live shows. I mean, I could do them whenever I want, but they're allowing me to actually do it, which makes sense. Bring more people onto the channel. Having these sponsors support the channel is a ton of beneficial things that we can do. It allows me to experiment with other content. It allows me to do an everyday live show at this point and actually make it make sense. It allows me to bring on guys like Manpreet when it comes to the MMA show, like Dylan for some of these NBA shows that you're seeing. So be sure to support them. It's free to download their app, and it's free to download their app and play in their games. And if you want to play in the paid games, the stock market, the jock market itself, be sure to use that code SAL20. Let them know what you came from me, and they'll give you a $20 instant match. I'm subbed up, says Raleigh J. Hey, you from Raleigh? We in the same area? Nice. Kick-ass Sal, need some money back after the Super Bowl. Yeah, man. The showdown slate in the Super Bowl was good because I had like 38% Gronk and 10% Gronk captain. But the player props definitely went down the drain. Best spend up for cash today. In cash, I would prioritize James Harden in cash. But if you're counting like 8K and above, it would be Vooch. How are you feeling about Jimmy Butler? Appropriately priced in a player pool, but appropriately priced. Best high multiplier plays on Superdraft. Good work. Thanks, Mr. Jeff. Best high multiplier plays. I like that question, by the way. That's a good question. Best high multiplier plays, Cousins. I'll go guys above like 1.6. Cousins at 1.65x. Draymond at 1.6x. Poto at 1.75x. Clarkson at 1.6x looks really good. And Cole Anthony, very quietly, a 1.8x multiplier. Maybe it's not as quiet as I think, but that looks really good as well. Are you still high on Jordan Clarkson tonight? Yeah. Jordan Clarkson on Superdraft looks fantastic to me. On Jock Market, I love Jordan Clarkson, but I like him a lot on Superdraft and Draftkings. Draftkings, yeah, he's a top 10 play for me tonight. Jordan Clarkson's on a short list of guys to be into my player pool. Thanks, Al. Appreciate it as always. Thank you, my man. Rodgers or pizza? Aaron Rodgers or pizza? Easily Aaron Rodgers. I'm not that big of a pizza guy, to be honest with you. When I was a little bit younger and chunky when I was in high school, I lost 30 pounds between my junior and senior year of high school. I was a little chunky guy. I would eat McDonald's and pizza like every single day. I would order like 3 pieces of like bacon pizza from the local Italian pizzeria. And then like the next day eat McDonald's. Like I was probably going to be dead by the time I was 24 if I didn't stop that shit. But now I don't eat a lot of pizza. When I do eat pizza, I like to get like customizable pizza. Obviously if I was in like New York or New Jersey, I'd go to like a nice place. But down here, they don't got the greatest of pizza places. But I don't eat pizza a lot, to be honest with you. I'm watching my figure. He's watching his figure, guys. Draymond midday Q tag. Uh-oh. Is that what we got on him? I'm not concerned with it unless we get some updates. I mean, we're going to get updates, so we Gucci. Draymond questionable Tuesday. Knee. There we go. Draymond questionable. Yeah, I'm not going to update anything until we get some news. Are you still high on during Clarkson? Yes. Cantor or Gobert tonight? If I had to pick one, I would go with Mr. Gobert. Any interest in McLemore with no depot? No, sir-ree. Right now, McLemore I have projected for only 8 minutes. All right, everybody. If you're not already on Clubhouse, download the app, right? You might need an invite, but be sure to download it. Download Clubhouse. It's a ton of fun. I've been live in there with a couple of people. I see some people just follow me. Craig, I don't know if you're in here. But yeah, be sure to download Clubhouse. It's a ton of fun. It's interactive. It's the same way as these live streams are interactive, but you can actually unmute your mic and talk to me, right? Imagine if right now you can unmute your mic and ask me questions about anything that you wanted to. It's more interactive, but it's just fun. It's just fun. It's something that I think has a lot of legs. If you're at all in the idea of creating or becoming a creator, going to the platforms that don't have a lot of attention right now in terms of competition, not attention, but attention with no competition are the places to go. Conley is out, correct. Have you ever been to Original Ray's Pizza? I have not. I'm not sure where that is. You got to make a trip to the east coast of Canada some summer. If you've never been here, you'll be amazed, Sal. There's a bridge over 8 miles connecting PEI, I'm not sure what that is, to the next Providence. Nice, man. Yeah, Devin, I've been to Toronto twice. Both times loved it. One time went to OVO Fest. The other time just visited with my friends, went to the falls and did things like that. First time in the live stream. Kind of love the content at this point. Where do you go for your NBA news in terms of most up-to-date injuries and the like that? Bill Jones, welcome in, man. Yeah, everybody says that when they're into the live streams, they like them, man. We do these at 4 p.m. during the week. On the weekends, sometimes if I'm not traveling, I'll make a notification on that video. Sometimes we do them on the weekends. But yeah, man, 4 p.m. 4 p.m. I think I'm going to be doing a noon live stream for golf tomorrow. But I got my news on Twitter at Fantasy Labs, so you can check it out. So at Fantasy Labs, I update my news for my projections. So I update on that on Patreon. I'll put the link to Patreon right there. But yeah, you can check it all out. Someone out for the Jazz to make Clarkson that good? Yeah, Mike Conley, my man. Mike Conley. Is Danny Green a good value tonight? Out of those guys in the 3K range, he's looking like one of the better 3K options. There's like 3 or 4 that look decent. Where should I take a vacation? What are the options? DeRozan or Wall? I'll go Wall. Do you like Alec Burks tonight? Not really. That one dude tonight, says Picasso TV. What's up, boss man? How you doing? Duncan Robinson tonight versus Knicks, 3-point defense. Yeah, Duncan Robinson's actually a pretty okay option. But he's just like a 150 guy for me. Alrighty, gang. We're at 5 o'clock. We've been live for around an hour. Be sure to support the sponsor of the show. I appreciate everybody in here. We'll be back tomorrow. So here's the content for tomorrow, right? Video in the morning for NBA, right? Big slate. I'll be live at 4 p.m. East Coast time. I'm going to go live for golf in the afternoon around noon, probably around 1-ish. Dylan will be dropping his stars and scrubs tomorrow as well. So 4 pieces of content on this channel. Be sure to have that notification bell on so you're notified of when I go live. I'll be live again 2 times tomorrow. I'll be live around noon or 1-ish, probably around 12:30, right in between. We'll split the difference for a PGA. Pebble Beach, and then I'll be live here for 4 p.m. NBA DFS. How about that? And I'll be in Clubhouse. I'll be in and out of Clubhouse like all day. I'm basically jumping in and out of rooms all day, talking when I can, listening when I want to, those types of things. So thank you. PEI is Prince Edward Island, one of the maritime provinces. Interesting. Cool. Cool. First time using Superdraft. Ian, shout out to you, man. Yeah, use Superdraft. Use that code SAL to get that free money bonus. Best forward on Superdraft tonight for you. We'll go out with some of these last questions in here before I bounce. Best forwards on Superdraft tonight for me. Draymond Green is going to look like a strong option there. Kelly Oubre, Brandon Ingram, Julius Randle, Andrew Wiggins. These are the types of guys that I like. I like Wiggins because he has a 1.5x multiplier, so he can really hit you with a high upside. But Oubre at 1.55x is going to look really appealing. I'm going to Brazil next. Cold as fuck. Hey, is Vuce a lock? Not a lock, no. All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you giving me an hour or even a minute of your time if you tune in. You make doing this a ton of fun. You make me doing this every single day worth it. So thank you. Be sure to reach out on Twitter if you have any other questions. Be sure to get active in the Patreon Discord if you're not already. At Vetri DFS on Twitter. Thank you. My dude, Draymond Green, just got added to the injury report. Correct, he did. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate you all. Round of applause to everybody in the chat on a positive Tuesday. It's National Pizza Day. Treat yourself and your loved ones. And at the end of the day, DFS is fun. Go get yourself a sweat tonight. But also, be sure the ones that are around them are getting some of your energy tonight, man. Make sure those people get your energy. When you're on your deathbed, DFS might be on your mind, but I doubt that it will. So have a good night, everybody. Peace out, gang. I'll update for any news, by the way, on Draymond if anything changes. I know he's questionable now, but if anything changes in a major way. Justin King, he says it beautifully to end the slate today or end our live stream. Justin King says, let's win some bread. Hey, yo, we going to the mountain in our ski mask, yo? We going to the mountain, and we are fucking skiing on down. I'm not going to do this too much, but we are skiing on down that mountain of money. Let's win some motherfucking money. All right, peace out. We're getting a little bit too crazy up in here. We're getting two-turn. We're going to have to pour some McAllen right now early on a Tuesday. Peace out, gang. Appreciate you. Love you all so much. You're my best friends. That sounds kind of sad. You guys my friends. That sounds a little bit better. Peace out, gang.